Hi, this is Dr. Day. I'd like to respond to the book, You Got to Be the Book, author Jeffrey D. Willem. I just read the introduction in chapters 1 and 2. And from what I've gotten here from the book, this Jeffrey Willem seems to be a very passionate educator. In one of his journals, he wrote that teachers cannot help students to read better, with more purpose, better attitude, and greater power, then what good are we? So from this I can tell he's a very passionate educator. Doesn't take no for an answer. He wants to see his students go as far as they possibly could in literacy, I guess. You know, I saw an interview, I don't remember the name of the principal, but on TV, she's up for an award. Her famous middle school. She says she hires teachers not only based on their qualifications, but how passionate they are about their teaching. She will not hire you if you're not a passionate teacher. She sends social workers to students' homes to find what they're doing, how they're doing, and so on and so forth. She figures that you really can't help a student unless you're somehow helping them in their situation where they live. Get them in the frame of mind to learn and be taught. So this author, I think, ought to be applauded for his efforts, I think, from what I've seen, his lifestyle and teaching and everything. I know one of the responses I saw on video, I think was, what's her name? Marcy, I think. She said that what she got from that was that Jeffrey Willem is a facilitator. He acts as a facilitator in his teaching habits. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. So I think this both holds a lot of promise from what I've seen so far. And I'll let somebody else comment on that.
Hello, I'm Miss Dr. Margaret Arthur, and I'm also going to comment on You Got to Be the Book, or Gotta Be the Book, rather. In my opinion, this was a very informative book. It touched on a lot of points that I otherwise probably would not have thought of. One of the more prominent things that were brought to my attention was the fact that Jeffrey thought that teachers should be researchers, so you should be a research teacher. And that's something that I thought was very important, because the only way you can better affect your students is if you're going above and beyond the classroom and going to find other ways that you can connect with your students. One thing, another journal entry that was brought to my attention was in February 1989, and this is the author Jeffrey's entry, and it discusses that the children do not like to read. And one thing that I read was whether this is a defense mechanism or a learned behavior or what. And this is something that caught my attention, because a lot of times we don't know why they don't like to read. So I appreciated the fact that he came up with these questions on his own and further went to find out the reasoning behind it. Not too many teachers would even care whether or why their children don't like to read. The best thing they know is that they have to read. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was the fact that he said we taught reading at the children instead of to the children. Of course, we should be trying to teach the children and help them understand the whole point of everything instead of just trying to push the concept on them. The last thing that I want to touch on was actually a comment that Brian made on the first couple chapters of You Gotta Be the Book, and he discussed engaging the students. And this is also something that was found on the Rewrite Think website, to engage the students and help them pick their reading material. And in that way, they'll be better involved in what they're reading, and actually consider the students, see if it's something that they're interested in. So I agree with most of his findings. I just kind of wish he would have gotten a little bit more to the point earlier in the introduction, as opposed to prolonging the whole message. So that's pretty much my take on it. Thank you.
My name is Tanisha Squire, and reading 427. The topic is going to be Jeffrey Wilhelm's You Gotta Be the Book, the introduction through chapter 2. When I first started reading the book, I thought the introduction was extremely wordy. He took over 15 pages to basically come to the conclusion that students lack enthusiasm when it comes to reading, and they read for all of the wrong reasons, such as instead of reading for comprehension, they read to find the answers to the questions that they know they have to answer. In chapter 2, he did a study of 3, where he used 3 students, and at the he asked them how do they feel that reading should be graded, and one of them stated that she felt like reading shouldn't be graded. It should be something that's done for leisure or as a hobby, and it should be important and relevant to the actual reader. And I just want to piggyback on that because I totally agree with her in that it should be something that the readers, I don't feel like students who don't have a choice when reading is pushed on them, I feel like they would be more inclined to read if they had a choice. Not saying that they could read anything they want, like Zane or what have you, but whatever your topic is, maybe give them a choice of 3 different readings on the topic and let them select the one which interests them the most. And on Marcia's blog, she also spoke about a section in the book where Wilhelm was speaking of the student who he called Sasha, the Gothic girl. And I agree with Marcia's views because she stated that one of the other teachers had filled him in, don't worry about the Gothic girl, she's not going to do anything. But what he did was he took out the extra time and found out what she, read into the things that she liked. And when she found out that, she found out that he cared enough to find out what she actually liked, it pretty much saved her because she went from not doing anything to getting A's, and I really thought that was a good section of the book. I'm looking forward to reading the remaining amount of the book. Hopefully it gets more and more interesting as we go along, and see you later.